What if everything you thought was helping you actually holding you back? What if every complaint, every worry, every moment you spend analyzing what's wrong is secretly sabotaging your success? Close your eyes for just one moment and think about how you start your day. Be honest. Do you check your phone and immediately scroll through problems? News telling you what's broken in the world? Social media showing you what everyone else has that you don't? Do you lie in bed for 5 minutes running through your mental checklist of everything that's not working in your life? This isn't just morning routine. This is psychological warfare against your own potential. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly simple. It sees what you feed it. It believes what you repeat. It becomes what you focus on. And right now, millions of people are programming their minds for failure simply by asking the wrong questions. You see, there's a cruel irony in human nature. We believe we're being realistic when we're actually being destructive. We think we're preparing for battle when we're actually weakening our weapons. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," your brain hears, "I'm poor." Every time you complain about your boss, your brain reinforces, "I'm stuck." Every time you dwell on what went wrong yesterday, your brain learns to look for what's wrong today. But here's what they don't tell you in school. Here's what nobody talks about in those expensive seminars. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones with the fewest problems. They're the ones who've mastered something far more powerful. They've learned to redirect their mental energy from what's broken to what's possible. Your problems aren't going anywhere. They never were. The difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive isn't the absence of struggle. It's the presence of direction. It's the conscious choice to become a solution seeker instead of a problem finder. Because here's the brutal truth. When you wake up every morning scanning your life for what's wrong, you're not just having a bad day, you're creating one. Your brain is like a powerful spotlight in a dark room. Wherever you point it, that's what gets illuminated. That's what grows. That's what multiplies. Spend your mental spotlight on problems and suddenly everything looks broken. Spend it on solutions and pathways begin to emerge from the darkness. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. This isn't positive thinking. This is neurological reality. Your brain literally rewires itself based on what you focus on. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. You call it your destiny. Every moment you spend dwelling on problems, you're strengthening neural pathways that lead to more problems. Every moment you spend envisioning solutions, you're building mental muscles that attract breakthroughs. Think about the people in your life who drain your energy versus those who inspire you. The problem people always have a new crisis, a new reason why things won't work, a new excuse for why they can't move forward. They're not bad people, or they're just stuck in a mental loop that feeds on itself. The solution people, they have problems too, but they have something more powerful. They have momentum, they have direction. They have the unshakable belief that every obstacle is just a stepping stone. What if you could break free from the problem cycle? What if you could wake up tomorrow and see your challenges not as roadblocks, but as puzzles waiting to be solved? What if your biggest problems became your greatest teachers? This isn't wishful thinking. This is the difference between living reactively and living strategically. The reward isn't just feeling better. The reward is becoming unstoppable. When you stop feeding problems and start feeding solutions, something extraordinary happens. You don't just solve your current challenges, you transform into the kind of person who solves any challenge. You become the kind of person problems can't defeat because you've learned their weakness, their fatal flaw. They only have power as long as you give it to them. Your problems are real, but they're also temporary. Your ability to solve them, that's permanent. That's who you're becoming. That's the legacy you're building. That's the life you're creating, one focused moment at a time. Your brain isn't just processing information, it's actively creating your reality. Every time you focus on a problem, you're not just observing it, you're feeding it, you're nurturing it. You're giving it the mental energy it needs to grow larger in your life. This isn't philosophy, this is hard science. Your thoughts trigger chemical reactions that either empower you or exhaust you. There's no neutral ground. When you dwell on what's wrong, your brain releases cortisol, stress hormone, survival chemical. It's the same response your ancestors had when a saber-toothed tiger was chasing them. But here's the devastating part. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and an imagined mental problem. To your nervous system, complaining about your job stress is the same as running from a predator. Same chemicals, same physical response, same energy drain. But when you shift to solution mode, something miraculous happens. Your brain releases entirely different chemicals. Dopamine, serotonin, these aren't just feel-good chemicals, they're performance enhancers. They're your body's natural fuel for success. Dopamine increases motivation, focus, and the ability to see opportunities. Serotonin boosts confidence, social connection, and resilience. These chemicals don't just make you feel better, they make you perform better. This is why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others struggle with the same opportunities. It's not luck, it's not privilege, it's neurochemistry. It's the difference between cortisol dominance and dopamine dominance, between stress responses and solution responses, between problems that multiply and problems that dissolve. Think about the last time you felt truly energized and motivated. Really think about it. What were you doing? Chances are, you weren't complaining about your problems. You were probably focused on something you were building, something you were creating, something you were moving toward. That feeling wasn't accidental. That was your brain rewarding you for solution-focused thinking with a biochemical cocktail designed for peak performance. Your mental energy is finite. You only get so much of it every day. Every complaint costs you. Every worry drains you. Every moment spent analyzing what's wrong takes away from what's possible. But here's what's beautiful about this truth. You get to choose where to spend it. You get to be the CEO of your own mental resources. You get to invest in solutions instead of problems. The most successful people aren't necessarily smarter or more talented. They're more strategic about their mental energy. They guard it fiercely. They invest it deliberately. They understand that their thoughts aren't just passing moments. They're investments in their future selves. Every solution-focused thought is a deposit in their success account. Every problem-focused thought is a withdrawal. This isn't about suppressing negative emotions or pretending everything is perfect. This is about becoming conscious of where you're putting your power. It's about recognizing that your attention is your most valuable resource, more valuable than money, more valuable than time, because where you put your attention, you put your energy. Where you put your energy, you get your results. Your brain has two default settings, problem mode and solution mode. Problem mode feels familiar because it's been reinforced for years. It's like a well-worn path through a forest. Solution mode feels unfamiliar because you haven't walked it enough. But here's what's important to understand. Both paths are real. Both exist. The question is which one you choose to strengthen with your attention. Every time you catch yourself complaining and redirect to what you can control, you're building mental muscle. Every time you ask, what's one step I can take? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You're rewiring your brain for success. This isn't instant magic. This is consistent practice. This is daily discipline. This is the difference between being a victim of circumstances and being the architect of your destiny. Your problems will always be there, but your power over them doesn't have to stay the same. With every solution-focused thought, you're increasing your capacity to handle whatever life throws at you. You're not just solving today's challenges, you're building the mental infrastructure for tomorrow's victories. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just survive problems, you transcend them. Every champion knows this secret, but they rarely talk about it publicly. They don't need fewer problems than everyone else. They don't live charmed lives free from struggle. What separates them isn't the absence of obstacles. It's the presence of a different question burning in their minds. While others ask, why is this happening to me? Champions ask, what am I supposed to learn from this? While others say this is impossible, champions say this is interesting. This isn't optimism. This is intelligence. This is strategic thinking. This is the mental framework that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. The question you ask yourself when faced with any challenge determines everything that follows. Your questions become your compass. Your questions become your catalyst. Your questions become your transformation. Look around you right now. Look at your life, your circumstances, your current challenges. Nothing has changed since 5 minutes ago, but something powerful has shifted inside you. You're beginning to understand that your problems aren't the enemy. Your relationship with your problems is what's either empowering you or defeating you. The moment you stop fighting against your circumstances and start fighting for your solutions, that's when everything changes. This is why some people remain stuck in the same situation for years while making no progress. They're asking the wrong questions. They're focused on blame instead of responsibility. They're invested in being right instead of being effective. They're measuring their success by how much they can complain rather than how much they can create. But you're different now. You're beginning to see that your power has never been in controlling what happens to you. Your power has always been in controlling how you respond. The most successful people in any field share this common trait. They've mastered the art of rapid response redirection. When their brain automatically jumps to "this is too hard," they immediately redirect to "how can I make this easier?" When their first instinct is "I don't have what it takes," they shift to "what do I need to develop?" This isn't denial, this isn't ignorance, this is mental discipline. This is the difference between being reactive and being proactive. Your brain wants to protect you. That's its job. For millions of years, it's been programmed to scan for threats, identify dangers, and focus on what could go wrong. This kept your ancestors alive. But in the modern world, this survival mechanism has become a success barrier. Your brain is still scanning for saber-toothed tigers when you're trying to build a business, improve a relationship, or achieve a dream. The threat isn't external anymore. The threat is internal. The threat is your own thinking. But here's what's absolutely beautiful about this realization. You can retrain your brain. You can override those ancient survival programs. You can install new software that's designed for growth instead of just survival. Every time you choose solution thinking over problem thinking, you're updating your mental operating system. You're downloading new firmware for success. The people who transform their lives overnight aren't actually experiencing overnight transformation. They've been making small, consistent shifts in their thinking for months or years. They've been building new neural pathways. They've been strengthening new mental muscles. They've been investing in solution-focused questions instead of problem-focused complaints. Then one day, something clicks, something breaks through, something accelerates. But the foundation was built long before the breakthrough. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to become the kind of person who doesn't just react to life, but actively creates it. Who doesn't just hope for better circumstances, but actively designs them. Who doesn't just wish for solutions, but actively becomes the solution. Your problems aren't going anywhere, but your power over them is growing stronger with every conscious choice you make. The question isn't whether you can do this. The question is whether you're willing to become consistent about it. Whether you're willing to guard your mental energy as fiercely as you guard your time and money. Whether you're willing to redirect your attention the moment you feel it slipping into problem territory. This is how champions think. This is how breakthroughs happen. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. Energy is the currency of achievement. Every action you take, every decision you make, every dream you pursue requires an energy investment. But here's what most people don't realize. You're constantly spending this precious currency whether you want to or not. Every complaint is a withdrawal. Every worry is a transaction fee. Every moment spent analyzing what's wrong is compound interest paid to the bank of stagnation. Your mental energy doesn't just fuel your thoughts. It powers your actions, your relationships, your creativity, and your resilience. When you wake up drained from a night of problem-focused thinking, you're not just tired, you're bankrupt. You're operating on empty. You're trying to build your future with a battery that's already dead. This is why so many dreams die before they even begin. Not because they were impossible, because they were attempted with exhausted energy. But when you shift to solution mode, something extraordinary happens to your energy reserves. Instead of depleting, they begin to replenish. Instead of draining, they start to surge. This isn't just feeling good. This is literal biochemical energy creation. Your body produces more ATP, the cellular fuel that powers every function in your system. Your brain increases glucose uptake, improving cognitive performance. Your entire physiology shifts from survival mode to growth mode. This is why solution-focused people seem to have unlimited energy, while others collapse under much lighter loads. It's not that they have more willpower or better genetics. It's that they're not wasting their fuel on mental drag. They're not carrying the weight of every problem they've ever encountered. They're traveling light. They're moving fast. They're powered by purpose instead of powered by problems. Think about the last time you felt truly energized. Really examine that feeling. What were you thinking about? What were you focused on? I'll bet you weren't dwelling on what was wrong. You were probably excited about what was possible. You were probably energized by a vision of what could be. You were probably motivated by a solution you were working toward. That energy wasn't random. That was your body rewarding you for thinking in a way that aligns with human potential. Every time you redirect from problems to solutions, you're making a deposit in your energy account. You're not just solving your immediate challenge. You're building energy reserves for future battles. You're creating a surplus that can be invested in bigger dreams, deeper relationships, and more ambitious goals. This is compound energy. This is exponential growth of your inner power. The people who seem to have endless motivation aren't blessed with special energy, they're blessed with clear focus. They've learned that energy follows attention like a shadow follows light. Where they put their mental spotlight, that's where their energy flows. They don't try to manufacture motivation through willpower. They generate it naturally through solution-focused thinking. This is why the traditional approach to motivation is backwards. Most people try to force themselves to feel energized first, then take action. But the real formula is the opposite. When you take solution-focused action first, energy follows naturally. Your body rewards movement toward purpose with a biochemical cocktail designed to sustain that movement. This is how human beings are wired for success. Your problems will always require energy to solve. But here's the key insight. The energy you need to solve them comes from focusing on the solutions, not the problems. The more time you spend analyzing what's broken, the less energy you have available to fix it. The more time you spend envisioning what's possible, the more power you generate to make it real. This is your power equation. Problems minus solutions equals energy drain. Problems plus solutions equals energy gain. It's not complicated math, it's simple physics. It's the law of energy conservation applied to human potential. You can't create more energy by dwelling on what's wrong. You can only create more energy by moving toward what's right. Every moment you choose to focus on solutions, you're not just solving today's challenges, you're building the energy infrastructure for tomorrow's victories. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just survive stress, you thrive under it. You don't just cope with pressure, you perform better because of it. You don't just manage problems, you transform them into stepping stones. Your energy is your inheritance. Your energy is your advantage. Your energy is your weapon against mediocrity. Guard it fiercely. Invest it wisely. Spend it on solutions, not problems. Because the person with the most energy wins, not the person with the best excuses, not the person with the fewest problems. The person who knows how to generate power from purpose instead of wasting it on complaints. There's something magical that happens when you become a solution-focused person. You start to notice it almost immediately. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. Doors that seemed locked reveal hidden keys. People who could help you appear at exactly the right moment. This isn't coincidence. This isn't luck. This is the law of attraction in action, but not the watered-down version you've heard about. This is the real law, like attracts like, and solution energy attracts solution energy. Your mindset becomes your magnet. Your focus becomes your frequency. When you radiate the energy of someone who solves problems instead of creates them, the universe responds accordingly. Other people sense this energy unconsciously. They're drawn to it like moths to light. They want to be around it. They want to help it. They want to amplify it. This is why successful people often say their biggest breaks came from unexpected sources. They weren't looking for help. They were emanating the kind of energy that attracts it. But here's what's even more powerful. When you focus on solutions, you become valuable. Not just to other people, but to life itself. Problems need solutions to survive. In a world full of people complaining about what's wrong, the person who steps forward with "here's what we can do about it" becomes incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. This is your competitive advantage. This is your unique selling proposition. This is what makes you indispensable in relationships, in business, and in life. Think about the people you naturally gravitate toward. Are they the ones who always have a new problem to share? Or are they the ones who show up with ideas, suggestions, and actionable solutions? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to solve everyone's problems. But when you consistently approach challenges with a solution mindset, you become the person others want in their corner. You become the person they call when they need help moving forward. This ripple effect extends far beyond your immediate circle. Your solution-focused energy creates a gravitational pull that attracts opportunities you never knew existed. Jobs that match your skills appear. Collaborations that amplify your impact emerge. Mentors who can guide your growth step forward. These aren't random occurrences. They're the natural result of becoming the kind of person who adds value instead of subtracting it. Your brain literally becomes more attractive to success when you focus on solutions. Neuroscientists have discovered that solution-focused thinking activates reward centers in the brain that actually light up like Christmas trees. These aren't just pleasure centers, they're motivation centers. They're opportunity centers. They're the parts of your brain that say, yes, this is worth pursuing. When you're in solution mode, your own neurology becomes your ally instead of your obstacle. But the real magic happens when you realize you're not just changing your circumstances, you're changing your identity. Every time you choose to focus on solutions, you're not just solving a problem. You're becoming the kind of person who solves problems. You're not just fixing a situation. You're becoming the kind of person who fixes situations. You're not just moving toward your goals. You're becoming the kind of person who achieves goals. This is transformation at its deepest level. This is identity shift. This is becoming the author of your story instead of remaining the victim of your circumstances. Your problems don't disappear, but they lose their power over you. They become puzzles to solve instead of prisons to escape. They become teachers instead of tormentors. They become the raw material for your growth instead of the reason for your stagnation. The world needs more solution-focused people, not because problems are going away. They're not, but because every problem that gets solved makes life better for everyone. Every solution you create creates a ripple effect that touches more lives than you'll ever know. Every time you choose to focus on what's possible instead of what's broken, you're not just improving your own situation, you're contributing to the collective human potential. This is your calling, this is your contribution. This is your legacy waiting to be written. Not by avoiding problems, but by becoming the kind of person who transforms them into stepping stones. Not by complaining about what's wrong, but by becoming the solution that makes things right. Your energy, your focus, your commitment to solution thinking, these aren't just personal advantages, they're gifts you give to the world. And the world always rewards those who show up as solution providers instead of problem amplifiers. Right now, in this exact moment, you're probably thinking about your problems. Don't fight it. Just notice how that feels. Heavy, isn't it? Draining, like carrying sand in your shoes, your shoulders tense, your breathing shallow, your mind spinning in circles around what's wrong, what's broken, what's impossible. This is your body's honest response to problem-focused thinking. It's not comfortable because it's not meant to be comfortable. It's a signal, a warning, a red flag saying you're wasting your power. But here's the beautiful part. You can shift this energy in 30 seconds or less. Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, right now. This is where transformation lives, not in grand gestures or massive overhauls, in micro moments of conscious choice, in the space between stimulus and response where all human power resides. Stop for just one breath, feel your feet on the ground, feel your lungs filling with air. Now, pick one problem, just one. The biggest one calling for your attention right now. Don't try to solve it all, don't try to fix everything. Just take that one problem and ask yourself one simple question. What's one small step I can take today towards solving this? Notice what happens in your body when you ask this question. Your shoulders probably relaxed a little, your breathing probably deepened, your mind probably shifted from spinning to focusing. This isn't magic. This is your nervous system recognizing the difference between helpless complaining and empowered action. Your body knows the difference between being a victim and being a solution seeker. It rewards the latter with immediate relief and renewed energy. This 30-second shift is more powerful than you realize. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your entire physiological state. Your heart rate variability improves, your stress hormones decrease, your problem-solving centers activate, your creativity awakens, all from one simple mental pivot from this is wrong to what can I do? But here's what's crucial. This isn't a one-time event. This is a skill you're building. Like learning to ride a bike or play an instrument. The first time you redirect from problems to solutions, it feels awkward, it feels forced. But every time you do it, you're strengthening a new neural pathway. You're building mental muscle memory for solution-focused thinking. You're installing new software in your brain's operating system. The beauty of this approach is that it works with any problem, any size, any complexity. Whether you're dealing with relationship challenges, financial stress, career confusion, or health concerns, the formula remains the same. Don't waste energy analyzing why it's broken. Invest energy in moving toward what works. Don't perfect your complaint. Perfect your next step. Your brain wants to return to familiar patterns. It's going to resist this new way of thinking. It's going to whisper, but this is different, or but this is hard, or but this might not work. Don't listen. Your brain is trying to protect you by keeping you in familiar territory. But familiar territory is where problems live and grow. Solution territory is where breakthroughs happen and dreams come alive. Every time you catch yourself complaining and redirect to action, you're not just solving your immediate challenge. You're training yourself to be the kind of person who consistently moves forward. You're building the mental discipline that separates achievers from dreamers. You're developing the habit that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. This 30-second mindset shift isn't about positive thinking. It's about powerful action. It's about becoming conscious of where you're investing your mental energy and choosing to invest it wisely. It's about recognizing that your attention is your most valuable resource and protecting it fiercely. It's about understanding that every moment you spend focused on solutions is a deposit in your success account. The person you become through consistent practice of this simple shift is unstoppable. Not because they never face problems, they face the same problems everyone else faces, but because they've learned to channel their energy toward what's possible instead of what's broken. They've learned to see every challenge as a puzzle waiting to be solved instead of a prison sentence to be endured. Your 30-second shift starts now. Your transformation begins today. Your power awakens in this moment, not when everything is perfect, not when all your problems disappear. Right here, right now. With one simple question that changes everything: what's one small step I can take today? Every day you choose solutions over problems, you're not just solving today's challenges. You're building tomorrow's strength. This is the compound effect of conscious thinking. Like dropping a pebble in a pond, each solution-focused moment creates ripples that expand outward, touching every area of your life. One day of solution thinking won't transform you. But 30 days, 300 days, 3,000 days, you become unrecognizable to your old self. This isn't just metaphor, this is neurological reality. Every time you redirect from problems to solutions, you're strengthening neural pathways that didn't exist before. You're building mental highways that lead directly to breakthrough thinking. Your brain literally becomes more efficient at finding solutions because you've trained it to look for them. What once required conscious effort becomes automatic. What once felt difficult becomes natural. Your problems don't disappear, they never do. The difference is that you become bigger than your problems. You become the kind of person who sees obstacles as information instead of barriers, who sees setbacks as data instead of defeats, who sees challenges as opportunities to demonstrate your growing strength instead of reasons to retreat into victimhood. This is the secret that separates those who thrive from those who merely survive. It's not that they face fewer storms, it's that they've learned to dance in the rain. They've learned that their power isn't in controlling external circumstances, but in expanding their internal capacity to handle whatever comes. Every solution you create, every problem you solve, every challenge you overcome, these aren't just victories, they're upgrades to your operating system. Think about the person you were 1 year ago. Really think about it. How many problems that seemed impossible then have you solved today? How many challenges that felt overwhelming have you transformed into stepping stones? How many situations that once drained you now energize you? This isn't coincidence. This is the compound effect of daily solution-focused thinking. But here's what's beautiful about this process: it accelerates. Like a snowball rolling down a mountain, each success builds momentum for the next. Each solution you create gives you confidence to tackle bigger challenges. Each problem you solve proves to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined. Your past victories become your future fuel. This is why the people who seem to have it all figured out aren't necessarily smarter or more talented. They're just further along in the compound effect cycle. They started thinking in solutions earlier. They've been consistent longer. They've allowed the exponential growth of focused thinking to compound in their favor. But here's the good news: it's never too late to start. The compound effect works regardless of where you begin. Every moment you spend focused on solutions is an investment in your future self. You're not just solving today's problems, you're becoming the kind of person who can handle tomorrow's challenges. You're building the mental resilience that turns crisis into opportunity. You're developing the creative thinking that transforms obstacles into advantages. Your problems are real, they're significant, they deserve your attention. But they don't deserve your identity. They don't deserve your energy drain. They don't deserve to define your story. When you consistently choose to focus on solutions, You're writing a different narrative. You're becoming the hero of your own story instead of remaining the victim of your circumstances. This compound effect extends beyond just your personal growth. Every solution you create benefits others. Every problem you solve removes obstacles for people coming behind you. Every breakthrough you achieve opens doors for those still struggling. Your commitment to solution thinking isn't just self-improvement, it's service to humanity. The person you're becoming through this daily practice is rare. In a world full of problem finders, you're becoming a solution seeker. In a culture of complaints, you're becoming a creator. In a society of victims, you're becoming a victor. This isn't arrogance. This is evolution. This is your natural progression toward your highest potential. Every day you choose solutions, you're not just changing your circumstances, you're changing your species. You're participating in the human upgrade from reactive thinking to proactive creation. You're joining the ranks of those who don't just adapt to life, but actively shape it. You're becoming the kind of person the world needs more of. Someone who adds light instead of complaining about the darkness. Your compound effect is building momentum right now. Your future self is watching and waiting for the person you're becoming today. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Keep choosing solutions. Keep taking steps. Keep growing. Because the person you're becoming is capable of things your current self can't even imagine. Right here, right now, you stand at the most important crossroads of your life. Not a physical crossroads, but a mental one. A neurological fork in the road where everything changes. Every moment you've spent listening to this message has been leading to this single, powerful decision point. You can walk away and return to your old patterns of problem-focused thinking, or you can step fully into the power of solution consciousness. This isn't dramatic. This is honest. Your brain is literally rewiring itself as we speak. Every word you've heard has been creating new neural pathways. Every insight has been building new mental muscles. But none of that matters unless you choose to activate this new programming. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. But knowledge with commitment becomes transformation. Your problems are still there, waiting patiently for your attention. They haven't gone anywhere. But something has shifted. Something fundamental has changed in your understanding. You now know what your brain actually craves. You understand the difference between cortisol addiction and dopamine activation. You recognize the energy equation that determines whether you thrive or merely survive. The choice before you isn't between perfection and failure. It's between progress and stagnation, between growth and comfort, between the person you're becoming and the person you've been. Every time you catch yourself complaining from this moment forward, you have a decision to make. Every time you feel yourself sliding into problem mode, you have power you didn't have before. This power isn't just mental, it's physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. When you choose solutions over problems, your entire being aligns with purpose. Your cells vibrate at a higher frequency, your heart beats with greater coherence, your breath deepens with renewed possibility. You don't just think differently, you become different. But here's what's absolutely crucial. This choice must be conscious. It must be deliberate. It must be consistent. Your old neural pathways are still there, well-worn and familiar. They're going to fight for your attention. They're going to whisper, "This is easier," or "This is what we've always done," or "This is safe." Don't listen. Safety is a lie when it keeps you trapped in mediocrity. The moment you catch yourself analyzing what's wrong instead of moving toward what's possible, that's your cue. That's your signal. That's your opportunity to make the choice again. Not a perfect choice. Not an easy choice. A powerful choice. Redirect. Refocus. Redirect your energy toward action instead of complaint, toward solutions instead of analysis, toward creation instead of destruction. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about powerful being. This is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just wish for better circumstances, but actively creates them, who doesn't just hope for solutions, but becomes the solution, who doesn't just dream of success, but embodies the mindset that attracts it. Every time you make this choice, you're not just solving your immediate problem. You're proving to yourself that you're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're demonstrating that you have agency, power, and influence over your reality. You're showing your subconscious mind that you're ready for the next level of growth, the next stage of evolution, the next chapter of your story. The reward isn't just feeling better. The reward is becoming unstoppable. When you consistently choose solutions over problems, you don't just improve your current situation. You transform into the kind of person who improves every situation they encounter. You become a force of nature. You become a solution magnet. You become the person others call when they need breakthrough thinking. Your moment is now. Your power is activated. Your transformation is inevitable. Not because the journey is easy, but because you've made the most important decision. The decision to become conscious of your own potential. The decision to stop feeding problems and start feeding solutions. The decision to become the author of your story instead of remaining the victim of your circumstances. Take a deep breath. Feel the shift in your energy. Feel the activation of your solution power. This isn't the end of your journey. This is the beginning. This is your launch point. This is the moment everything changes. From complaints to creations, from problems to solutions, from surviving to thriving. Your time is now. Your power is real. Your choice is everything.